How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do some more work on the Packard. I know it's been a few weeks since I've posted. Been busy around RPM here at the house. Haven't really been working on any of the projects, but we had some parts roll in for the Packard, so we're going to put the fuel system in it today. First thing we have to do is go to the other garage, pump up a flat tire, and then we'll move it over here. Stop. Okay, back up.
Sorry, I don't want to.
All right, so we got the Packard up in the air, and this is where the fuel tank goes. I already removed the old fuel tank. I was gonna try to have it resealed, but that didn't work out for me. So we have a new one in the box over there. We're gonna go ahead and dig all the parts out. We'll get our electric fuel pump out. This are the wires here for that. All right, so this is what we're gonna start off with the fuel system. So this is a brand new tank from Taiwan. We've got some rubber isolator to go on the top and the bottom of the tank. More rubber isolator, the tank straps, the T-bolts, and the new sending unit, seal and lock ring. So the first thing I need to do is pull the vent off here because it actually goes above the frame rail. The frame rail comes through here. I'll pull this off, put the sending unit in, and then we are going to attach this to the bottom of the car before we put the tank up into place. All right, we've got the rubber straps laid on the top of the tank, and we have our stainless straps hanging here with the rubber on them. This is our sending unit wire that we need to attach. This orange wire is going to be for our electric fuel pump. We'll talk more about that later. So we're going to go ahead and slide the tank up in here and get it mounted securely, and then we can figure out where to mount the pump and start running lines. Alright, so I didn't film this part because it took two of us, so one of us couldn't hold the camera, but it's in here. It fits pretty good. The straps are a little tight. You can see I barely got any thread on the T-bolts, but it is in. This is the original fuel line, which we aren't going to use anymore, so we're going to try to get that all out of the car. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten up the straps, and then we will have one gas tank installed as soon as we get the vent line reconnected above the frame. Alright, moving right along. This is the fuel pump we're going to be using. It is a Carter P4594. So this is just a universal electric fuel pump. But what I like about it is it's called a rotary pump. So it's supposed to be quiet, and it comes with a nice mounting bracket here with rubber isolators. So it'll be isolated from the frame. And this should be plenty of fuel for what we're trying to do here. It runs at about 5 psi. The reason I wanted to do electric is I rebuilt the fuel pump on the Packard, the original mechanical, and it failed again. It's a weird dual diaphragm setup, which I'll show you guys later. So I think I'm going to run the original fuel line all the way up, and I'm going to take the guts out of the original fuel pump and then just run the electric straight through. So I'm going to find a good spot to mount this thing and make it happen. So we have the fuel pump mounted. I can't tighten it right now because I don't have anyone here to help me. So this is where the original fuel line went to the fuel tank, right? It's a flared fitting 3/8 line. So what I'm gonna do is make a new line that comes out of here that'll connect to this side of the pump. And then this side is gonna connect to the original line. So I have to run to the store and get some line real quick, no big deal. And then we'll hook it all up. As far as the wiring goes, we have a power and ground here. This is my power wire, and the ground is just gonna go to the chassis with like a self-tapping screw, no big deal. This thing doesn't draw a whole lot of amperage. I think it said 7 amps. So should be fairly straightforward and quick. We'll run to the store and get some parts, and then we'll button up this part of the fuel system install. All right, so here we have some 5/16 brake line. I thought it was 3/8, it's actually 5/16, but we got some line. So we're going to bend the line from the tank to the pump first, and I'll show you how we're gonna do that. And then we're gonna come up front and figure out how we're gonna plumb the front of the fuel system. All right, so here you can see I've got my little cheap brake line bender, and basically we're gonna bend this thing until it fits, right? So on this side, we're gonna cut the flare off and just run a piece of hose. But from this side, from the tank, right there, to that side of the fuel pump, aside from the little piece of hose, we're just gonna bend something up real quick. So there's our fuel line. All I need to do is get a little piece of rubber line to connect from here to here. Now, we're gonna go from the outlet side. We'll probably cut this up here, and we'll get a piece of rubber line for that. And then we'll run the wires to the pump, and then we'll work up under the hood. Okay, here's everything all wired up. Ground goes right to the frame there. Power comes from the fuse block up front. For those of you who don't know, this car has been 12-volt converted with a new panless harness. Everything's been redone. There's not an old wire in the car. So nice that electric fuel pump's gonna work on key on. It has its own fuse. Let's get under the hood. Okay, so here we are under the hood. Here's our fuel pump. Carburetor with old school Carter glass filter. This is the fuel feed that comes from the back of the car. So that needs to go to the back side of the pump. The front side of the pump gets hard lined up and into our fuel filter. So I think what I'm gonna do is hook up the soft line first, and then we'll bend the hard line up, and that should be all we have to do. Here we go. We've got our feed line down to the pump. Everything is clamped and tight. So what I need to do next is pour some fuel in this thing, and we're gonna prime the system by letting it flow free out of here. So we're gonna cycle some gas through it since there might be dirt and rust in the original line. So I'm gonna pour about 5 gallons in the car, flow about 1 gallon through it, and see how it works out. All right, the moment of truth. So let me show you what I got. Got the fuel line disconnected from the fuel filter on the inlet of the carburetor and run through a hose to that there Corona bottle. And what I'm gonna do is turn the key on and then just hook the battery up because the fuel pump will turn on. And I'm gonna watch to see what comes out of the fuel line. Safe to say that works pretty good. Now, as you can see, kind of looks like Corona. So what I'm gonna do is get a gallon jug over here and run some more fuel through it. But yeah, that works well. So after I run some fuel through it, we're gonna hook the fuel line up, build some pressure, and make sure we don't have any leaks. Everything seems to be working like it should, no leaks. So successful day here in the high PSI TV shop. So that's gonna round it out for me today. It's about 3 o'clock on Sunday. I wanna relax a little bit. So as always, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned also, we got some parts coming, exciting parts for the Packard. Stay tuned.